I have a confession to make.
Here we go.
I really enjoyed The Batman more than I enjoyed The Dark Knight.
The fuck is he talking about?
I know, you're shocked. Hell, I think I probably should have put a trigger warning up first, but it's the truth. You see, I've watched The Dark Knight a countless number of times, and I gotta say, it really does deserve its place in pop culture. It's no exaggeration to say that The Dark Knight is probably the best superhero film that we've gotten today. It doesn't even hold a candle to movies like Infinity War, Endgame, Captain America Civil War, any of those movies, okay? Even other movies like Kick-Ass, probably not a fair comparison, but all is to say that, yeah, The Dark Knight deserves to be considered as such one of the best superhero films of all time. So I was incredibly curious to see how The Batman in 2022 would hold up compared to The Dark Knight. And I gotta say, I really like this film, like a lot, more than I thought I would. I went in with like no expectations at all because I just thought maybe it was going to be another bad DC film, but it shocked me and I really like it and I want to see it again. In my opinion, it's not as great as a film when you compare it to The Dark Knight, but still, it's got its own strengths and its own elements that I really like a lot, and I admire Matt Reeves for making a film like this, and he made it work very well. So let me just go over the main things that I liked about the Batman to the point where I do enjoy it more than The Dark Knight. Before anything else, it must be said that The Dark Knight is objectively a better film. Whether you like it or not is up to you entirely, but most will agree that The Dark Knight is a very competent superhero movie, and that's mostly due to the Joker. Heath Ledger's phenomenal performance as the Joker, as well as the writing that went into the developing of that character, are what cement this film as great, since he works as a proper villain that guides the protagonist in the plot to the finish line. Not only do we get a great antagonist for the film, but a great protagonist by the end of it. But what makes the Joker the best antagonist of all time? Well, to put it simply, he completes Batman, and by that, I mean he is the ultimate test to Batman's character. Most proper superhero flicks put the protagonist through trials and tribulation so that by the end, they have become a better person, a better hero than they were at the beginning of the film. The Dark Knight is a prime example of this. The thing that makes Batman so compelling is his integrity and principles that forbid him from killing any criminal he might come across. This makes him that much more of a superhero, because one could say anyone could play vigilante and do what they think is right for society, but one can also wonder if vigilante justice needs its own limits on an ethical level. The fact that Batman has plenty of opportunities to kill the criminals he faces and chooses not to makes him seem like a good person doing good deeds for the greater good. However, this code of Batman's gets put to the ultimate test when the Joker enters the picture. The introduction to The Dark Knight opens with a bank heist that's revealed to be schemed by the Joker. Through this heist, we understand not only the insanity of the Joker, but also the intellect. He managed to hire a whole gang for his operation, have them all kill each other as the heist moved along, and by the end of it, he's the one that walks out with all the money. Clearly, the Joker is a criminal mastermind, and when he reveals himself to Batman and the rest of Gotham, he knows exactly what to do to challenge Batman. The Joker immediately declares that for each day Batman does not reveal his secret identity, people will die. This presents Batman with a difficult choice. If he cannot stop the Joker and prolongs revealing himself to the public, people will die, and the blood will be on his hands. Even if he does capture the Joker, he won't kill him, so there's always a risk that this criminal mastermind will hurt people in the future. This even turns the citizens of Gotham against Batman, as they feel threatened and scared by the Joker, so they're willing to give up their savior in the hopes of saving themselves. Batman clearly struggles over this predicament until he eventually decides to reveal himself to the public. What neither the Batman nor the Joker could have predicted, though, is Harvey Dent revealing himself as the Batman. This allows Bruce Wayne to resume his vigilante activity as the Caped Crusader, while the Joker sets up an ambush for Harvey Dent. This sets up one of the best action sequences in the Nolan trilogy and ends with Batman standing by his code and not killing the Joker, just as the Joker predicted. The Joker takes total control of Batman by challenging his moral code of not killing people, but also making him responsible for the people that die. But it's not as if Batman wins and saves Gotham at the end of the day. In fact, both him and the Joker win and lose. Even though Batman and Gordon, with the help of Harvey Dent, manage to capture the Joker always manages to stay one step ahead of them and kidnaps both Harvey and Rachel. And through a very intense interrogation by Batman on the Joker deceives Batman by giving him the wrong address so that Harvey lives and Rachel dies. This incredible blow to Gotham becomes apparent when we see Harvey transition into Two-Face, although it's a shame it was pretty rushed, and the Joker proved his point. All the Joker wanted to do was throw chaos at the establishment, and Harvey Dent, being the appraised district attorney that he was, gave the Joker a window of opportunity to fulfill his plan.
Introduce a little anarchy. Upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos.
With Harvey being corrupted, the citizens of Gotham would essentially lose hope. However, Batman ensures that this outcome does not happen. Despite having a strict rule for not killing, Batman takes the blame for all of Harvey's murders. In doing so, he keeps hope alive for Gotham. For all they know, the true hero of Gotham was Harvey Dent, and Batman let the hope live on, for that was his true purpose.
They'll hate you for it, but that's the point of Batman. He can be the outcast. He can make the choice that no one else can make. The right choice.
And that's why The Dark Knight is such a great film. No other villain can compare to the Joker and the impact that he had on not only the movie, but on the rest of pop culture. The anarchy he'd hoped to create compelled Batman to extinguish just that. It pushed Batman more and more to be the hero that Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs. With all that being said, I still have to admit that I really enjoy The Batman more than The Dark Knight. Not because The Batman is a better film, not by a long shot, but because some key elements really make this movie shine.
Vengeance.
First of all, Gotham looks and feels like Gotham. Take Tim Burton's original feel of Gotham and give it a spice of grit. Without a doubt, the best form of Gotham put to live action. It also helps that this movie just looks and sounds beautiful, one of the best theater experiences I've ever had, and one scene in particular just had my jaw wide open. Finally, the most important part about the Batman himself. As I said, this version of Gotham is the best that has ever been put to film. From the first scene, we get a clear view of what Gotham is like with crime, poverty, and the different classes and all the tension that exists because of everything. All of this establishment topped off with Batman's awesome narration gives us a proper tone, so the movie moves forward smoothly from there on out. All the characters we meet too, including Gordon and Catwoman, seem like very fleshed out three-dimensional characters that add to the setting. Hell, I'd even argue that this movie would not feel the same without the Penguin. And Colin Farrell did a phenomenal job there too. Matt Reeves did an excellent job building the world of Gotham, and I can't wait to see it again. Let's also talk about the visuals and the sounds of the movie. Cinematography is so damn good here. There are so many shots to gawk at, and one of them is actually my desktop screensaver. A lot of storytelling is also told through the cinematography, whether it's Batman empathizing with the child who just lost a parent, or Batman doing his detective work. Even the sound design sounds gritty and atmospheric. I don't know how else to say it, but this just sounds like Gotham. Also, I cannot get enough of the soundtrack. Michael Giacchino, I think I'm mispronouncing that, did an excellent job in my opinion with the score. Each scene has a perfect choice of well-composed music to match the mood and the character that is Batman. I even put the main theme into my Spotify playlist. It's that awesome. And last but not least, we have to talk about the Batman. This iteration of Batman is my favorite so far. I say that only because we have yet to see where his character goes from here on out, since it's been confirmed to have a whole trilogy in the works. But anyways, Batman himself feels like, well, Batman. The crime-fighting detective caped crusader that we have come to know and love for his dark and edgy personality, while also being a good-willed person with a moral compass that sets him apart from all the other vigilante crime fighters. Although, we can't just ignore that one scene where cars are clearly just blowing up on a highway and that totally was Batman's fault. I mean, come on. Did they really think we wouldn't notice? But I digress. We don't really get a whole lot of Bruce Wayne in this film, and though some argue that's a really bad thing, I argue it to be a good thing. Bruce Wayne seems to be Batman's mask, and he feels more comfortable and in tune with himself when he dons the cape. I don't want to go too deep into spoiler territory, so I will just keep it brief. Robert Pattinson just brings the best performance for Batman that I have ever seen, and I really can't wait to see more of him, as well as the other characters that were brought into Matt Reeves' world of Gotham, including Alfred. So, I must explain to you all how all of this justifies me saying that I enjoy the Batman more than the Dark Knight. Well, I must say that I enjoy my action movies with a bit of action, and the fact that this version of Gotham is as gritty and dark as it is, as well as this movie being shot well, topped with having Robert Pattinson as Batman, I overall enjoyed myself most when the action sequences played out. Let's be honest, if there was anything that felt lackluster in the Nolan trilogy, it was definitely the action scenes. Sure, I mentioned the car chase scene in The Dark Knight to be top notch, but we all know damn well Nolan struggled to make the fighting scenes look and feel as impactful as they could have been. A lot of it has to do with Batman's suit in those movies holding back a lot of potential, but the many wide shots just don't hold up well when compared to the Batman. As I said before, I want to keep the spoilers to a minimum since this is a newer movie, so I will just say the Batman's action sequences show you how brutal of a fighter Batman is, as well as how epic proper action sequences can be, and that is why I enjoyed the Batman as much as I did. I understand that a lot of you are still unhappy with the fact that I could enjoy the Batman more than the Dark Knight. After all, I even said that the Dark Knight is objectively a better film. So I'm just gonna lay it out for you just as clear as I can. Movie taste is subjective. That's a fact. What is also a fact is the fact that films themselves are objective to a standard, okay? You can't sit there and tell me that Infinity War is not a good film, because it is. You can tell me that you don't enjoy that film, and there is nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, that is a great film. That is one of the best Marvel movies we have gotten ever. My point is, there is a difference between objectively speaking and subjectively speaking. Now, I enjoy the Batman more than the Dark Knight. No one can take that away. I know I'm probably coming off as a little defensive, but I just gotta let y'all know, because a lot of people seem to just think that because The Dark Knight is a better film, no one can dare say that they enjoy the Batman more than The Dark Knight. And that's just not true. It's a lesson that I think a lot of people do need to understand. The Cat in the Hat. That is objectively a horrible movie.
Dirty hoe.
But I will always enjoy it because, just nostalgia. I watched it when I was a kid, and it's probably the most colorful movie I can imagine when you just talk about colorful movies when I was a kid. And I'll always hold it near and dear to my heart. But objectively speaking, it's a god-awful movie.
I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
I just wanted to get that out of the way, and that all justifies me liking the Batman more than the Dark Knight. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment below telling me what you think. I'm very curious to see what the comments are going to look like in this video. Anyways, all of you, take care, have a good morning, good night, whatever, and I'll see you on the next one.